Give me what I want!
Thank you.
Well, speaking of brothers by choice, so you've been in many groups over the years, many factions, many stables. My question would be to you is how important is it for a wrestler such as yourself that's been around as long as you have to read the room, to know your audience, to know when things aren't working, to know when things are getting stale, and how important is it to always develop your character to maintain longevity in the business?
Yeah, for me, that's life in pro wrestling. If you want to stick around and you don't want to be the guy that's there for a cup of coffee. You need to learn to adapt and to change and to tweak and to reevaluate and whatever you want to call it. It's I heard this Terry Funk interview when I was probably 16, 17 maybe, and they're interviewing him. He's about to be in the main event for ECW at their first pay-per-view that they're going to have on TV, shooting it at the arena. And it's him and Stevie Richards and Sandman in a three-way ladder match, I think. Yeah. And they're saying, like, how is Terry Funk? The question was, how is Terry Funk still relevant? And he said, Terry Funk is always going to be Terry Funk. I can't change that. But what I can change is the things that I do and how Terry Funk changes with wrestling. Because wrestling is going to be different when we wake up tomorrow. Absolutely. And the day after that and the day after that. And I don't know, man, it was prolific in my brain. It's something that sat there. I can still hear his voice. I can still see him sitting there in the chair giving the answers. And that's 27 years ago, and it's still a very vivid memory for me. And that's how I've kind of always approached it ever since. Things are going to change, and sometimes you're going to get saddled with something that you don't really want to do. But for me, if you can prove that you can do the thing that you don't want to do, what are you going to be able to do when you're given the thing that you want to do? And that's how I've always approached it. I'd never done any comedy wrestling anywhere in my life, in my career, before I got to TNA. And they said, well, we want you to do this thing where you're kind of paranoid and kind of funny, and we'll put you some vignettes. I'm like, yeah, perfect. I didn't know if I could do it, but I just said, yeah, I could do it. And away we went. I did that for 9 years. So, yeah, I think it's a cool thing. And I think it's a massive part of staying relevant in wrestling and staying, employed and being on TV. And if you think it's getting stale, it's probably already stale if you think it is. So it's time to change and move and manipulate and do whatever it is to stay current.